Looks like John Candy and Alan Aldo were right. War games have come to Canada. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlog who always tells it like it is. To the very small handful of you who got the Canadian bacon reference, I thank you. But for the first time in WWE history, War Games takes place north of the border, in the country that will, in about 2 months, cause the price of maple syrup to go up, though through no fault of their own, mind you. In the former home of the Grizzlies and current home of the Canucks, 2 rings will be erected, and for 2 of the matches, a steel cage will surround them both, awaiting the carnage that will happen within. It's been a long time since Survivor Series was in Canada, and it will be even longer because I don't consider this PLE by that archaic name anymore. Sure, they posted previous traditional Survivor Series matches on social media lately, but as long as War Games exist, those elimination matches will never return. So it's War Games for the foreseeable future. In any case, with Black Sabbath's War Pigs being the permanent theme song, Vancouver will have 2 War Games fights along with 3 title matches, each taking place in one ring or the other. Actually, didn't the US and Canada fight over some islands near Vancouver? And wasn't it called the Pig War? War Pigs? Guess it makes sense, don't it? Anyway, let's end the WWE PLE World Tour 2024 with a nuclear blast. Here are my predictions for War Games 2024. United States Championship match, LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Anyone even remember that Naki was still on the roster? He's been hurt since after WrestleMania 40 and has now come back with a vengeance, complete with great Muda-like black mist in his mouth. One decent match against Andrade, and we think he's ready to take on a champ that, while still quite popular, has been losing a bit of his shine as of late. So it is a quandary on whether fresh blood is needed, or if Naki needs to get some more wins under his kneecap before getting a title shot. I think Knight has one more good title defense in him. Maybe he'll lose it on Saturday night's main event, but for now, the winner and still champ is LA Knight. Triple threat for the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. I'll be honest here. I think Sheamus needs to be made a pusher of younger talent more than a champ. And yes, I know the IC title is the only belt he hasn't won in his long tenure in the WWE, but Daniel Bryan couldn't get the Universal title before he split for AEW, so life just ain't fair. And Kaiser? I think we all know he's nothing without Gunther and or Giovanni Vinci. And Gunther made it clear last week that he's fine without Kaiser. If the 24/7 title were still around, I could see him winning that one, but nothing more in the singles division. So with one being too old and one not main event worthy, that leaves the son of a Steiner to spear them both apart and mix and match the pieces together. Winner and still champ Braun Breaker. Pardon. World Heavyweight Championship rematch. Gunther defense against Damian Priest. I get that there's hardly anyone on the Raw roster these days that can go toe-to-toe with the ring general. The ostentatious Austrian has proven his pro wrestling abilities even if he didn't win the Crown Jewel title. And finding any face that can match up to him is nigh on impossible, but why the former champ? Is Seth frickin' Rollins not off of the ring rust enough yet? Will Braun Strowman be back soon enough? I'm afraid that once Damian Priest was ejected from the Judgment Day, he, as well as the others, have started to decline. Priest is a good competitor, no doubt about that, but he did win the title with a Money in the Bank cash-in after Phillip Brooks beat the new champ down. And all he did was beat McIntyre a few times with the help of Brooks. With Brooks concentrating on getting along with the OTC, Gunther has him outclassed. Winner and still champ, Gunther. Women's War Game match. You know the drill by now. One woman from each side starting the dual ringed cage. After 5 minutes, the team with the advantage, Team Ripley in this case, sends another one in. Every few minutes, the teams alternate entries until all 10 are in. Then the match beyond begins. Only pinfall or submission will end the battle. The problem I have with Team Ripley is that they are all separated from their usual teammates. Cargill won't be there for Belair. Kairi Sane is missing for Io Sky. Ripley doesn't even have her power twin backing her up. And Bayley and Naomi, they've been loners since WrestleMania pretty much. Meanwhile, Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton have been sticking together, whether Tiff wants to or not. Morgan and Rackrod are plenty tight, and LeRae, well, I'm sure she'll contribute. Add the fact that most of the time the team with the advantage loses, and I have to go with the heels, and who knows, maybe Belair will make that heel turn we've been waiting for. Winners, Team Morgan and Jax. Finally, men's War Games match, aka the Battle of the Bloodlines Part 2. To be honest, when I heard Paul Heyman's voice, I was almost certain that Brock Lesnar was going to return. But the more I thought about it, given that last time they were together was to unite the primary titles, Brock and Roman, the camaraderie would be more lacking than it would be with Phillip Brooks. Meanwhile, the Sikoa bloodline seems to be tight, even though everyone wanted The Rock to return as number 5 instead of Big Bronson Reed. Reed seems to have a common goal as Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and the Tongas, but more generalized. If he feels he has to tsunami a Samoan, he won't care which one it is. And Roman? He's still a little skittish about not just Brooks, but Zayn and Jey Uso. But as long as they seem loyal to the OTC, Reigns will go to war with them. The problem is that Reigns has not been too successful against Sikoa's bloodline, no matter who was on his side. The odds are more even this time, sure, but unless we have a tribal combat at Royal Rumble, Sikoa is going to have a bit of an advantage over his cousin. Team OTC may win this battle, but sadly, much like Russia and Ukraine, the war is far from over. Winner, Team OTC. Those are my picks. Next week, deadline picks followed by a rant. I'm Chris Wolvie, the Wrestling Clock, who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace. And I'll see ya.